All right. So, that straight up, this ain't the video you probably thinking I would be doing right now. Um, I had fun with this video, with this character, but I didn't have enough fun. I think it's good. It works. If you can take the dying, it's fun. But if you can't take the dying, don't play this character. And I kind of don't want to die as much as this character does. It's kind of bad right now. Um so so what I did is I got up to level 81 and I started running my maps. My regular maps that I use on my other character. I messes at tier 15. And it was fine. If there's just one problem. And this was a good thing when I was on Skeleton Mages, but it's a bad thing on this character because I have so little life. If I get a Mesa and it has Beyond on it, I just die. And okay, this is my boss is calling me. 1 second. So something to not look forward to at work next year. Next budget year anyway. Okay, so as I was saying, if I get Beyond on these maps, I die. And I die quickly. The biggest enemy that will get me that I've run into so far is the lightning one, who just constantly does the lightning over and over again on top of you. I died like 4 times to him in one run. I almost couldn't pick up everything in the map, all the currency and everything. If I don't run into that guy, I'm fine. The flame blast guy is fine, and the other, I think the cold guy just dies quickly, so I don't have to worry about him. I don't think I ran into the main boss of Beyond, the one that combines them all together. But since it combines all of them together, it would still be as much of a problem as just the lightning guy by himself. The only way I could see of being able to kill the lightning guy, and the way I did it, was I just threw out my Blade Vortex. I went running around the map until I could kill enough enemies to get more Blade Vortex, go back to him, throw him out, make sure he's got the assassin's mark on him, try and move around him quickly, and that seems to have done it. But it took so long. It took, like I said, it took me 4 lives to get to that point to do that. It's too much. It's too much for how much currency I'm investing into my maps. I'm chiseling them up to 20 quality. I'm alking them. I have to re-roll them if they have any kind of reflect on them, because I still do physical and elemental damage now. So I can't have any reflect at all. And I can't have players don't regenerate life, mana, or energy shield. That's just a death sentence for me at this point. So I just didn't. I had fun. It was an interesting run trying to get through that map. And I had another map right after that one that would have had Beyond on it. And I just had to re-roll it off. I couldn't take Beyond. It's just too much. Especially since I've done a little bit different. As you can see, I have 1 point. I took that point off so I could use scarabs on the map. It was way too much when I tried an Elder Scarab on the map too with a Ambush Scarab. Ambush by itself was fine, but if it also had Elder Scarab, and this was a map without Beyond, these two combined together were about the same as the Beyond map that only had an ambush scarab on it. So, yeah, it's just too much for this character. And to get over this hump on this character, I would have to invest at least 6 more exalts in this character. Because I would need to buy different timeless jewel. I would have to get something like onslaught, elusive boots. So that would be a big investment if I could even afford something like that. The chest piece would go from this to what do you call it? Chevron's wrappings instead. And you would drop petrified blood when you did that. But you would still reserve life, get to low life threshold, and get spell, the pain attunement for the extra spell damage. It's just too much, I feel, for the character investment. You would also have to get a bottled faith. That would be expensive as hell right now, I think. Let me see. I haven't looked lately. What is a bottled faith right now? That is loading. 2.6 exalts just for a bottled faith. It's too much investment for what I wanted to do with this character. So I've decided to move on. I just couldn't take the deaths combined with how much it was going to cost me to do things. So I found another build that I'm going to do here pretty soon. Now, another thing, let me go before I talk about this new build. There's one last thing about this build. I had so much problems doing Uber Labyrinth on this character. The only way I could do this is I had to take off my Hatred and my Herald of Ice and my Defiance Banner and just run this, because I had to have my full life bar with the energy shield. Also, turn off Petrified Blood, because there's no need to have Petrified Blood. So we lose a shit ton of damage, which was fine, because I could turn it all right back on before Azaro. Getting to Azaro is the problem. The enemies in there, no sweat whatsoever, but the traps, oh my god, the traps. It was the third area of the Uber Lab. Just to get the freaking golden key to get back to the golden door was... I died 3 times doing that. I had to use up 3 offering to the goddess before I got it on my 4th one. And this is the only way I could do it. I had to get full life. I had to get... I had to drop pretty much over 50% of my damage to get this. And I used 2 life flasks. I dropped the Quicksilver flask and put on the 2 life flask and the mana flask on to get life, basically. And both flasks had bleed immune on them. And I changed my Pantheon from Aberoth to Risalith for the life flask recharges. I had to do it just to get through the labyrinth. That was just terrible. I don't know what to say. That was... I was seriously considering before I ran. I said, if I can't get it in 5, I might as well pay someone to run me through labyrinth. I've never had to do that. I've thought about it before, but I've never had to do it. But I would have done it then, and that would have just... And that right there was one of the first things that told me, don't, you're not having fun with this character. Don't play this character anymore. If I couldn't do Labyrinth by myself, Uber Labyrinth, the regular Uber Labyrinth, not the gift to the goddess or whatever, not any of that, not these extra ones, just the regular offering to the goddess. If I couldn't do regular lab by myself, I might as well not play this character, because it's no fun. I'm not having fun anymore. I found a way around it, but I dropped 50% of my damage to do it. But it was kind of fine because as soon as I got to Azaro, as long as I had the life flask and the mana flask, and I also took this off and put it to move only so I wouldn't use any mana whatsoever as I was moving through until I got to Azaro. And then I put it back on when I got to Azaro. And then I turned all of my buffs back on and had Petrified Blood back on. And I fought Azaro at my full potential. So he went down quickly. It was just getting to him that was the major issue. I have no problem facing Exaro himself, but getting to him was such a pain. So I just couldn't go it anymore. So I said, I'm going to go to a different character. So that's what we're going to talk about now, the new character. Poison Concoction Pathfinder. I wanted to keep a zoomy build, but I wanted it to be tankier. So that's what I'm doing. So tankier and still in the same realm of DPS, you know. So that's what I did. This character, though, I will say this straight up. This character made currency like a bandit. I got at least like 30 to 50 C per map run of Mesa, and I did like 6 of them. And that's not including the shores I also run and the city squares that I ran, and others like that. Alleyways, I ran alleyways. So I made currency like crazy on this character. I was at before I bought all the gear, I was at 285 currency. Chaos. Raw chaos. No exalted orbs or anything. But I got a bunch of things on this character that dropped. I had a hoarder. I had 2 hoarders actually. The single exalted orb one. And then the treasure one that was 2 exalted orbs. I had one of those. So I was able to sell both of those. I have these as extra deals that can sell. I had stuff in here. I had various other currency. I got 2 of the yellow tier, unique yellow tier sentinels. Not the blue ones or the red ones, but the unique version of the yellow ones. And they sell for like 45 chaos each. I got 2 of them because my deal my deal paid for itself. The duplication. Where's the duplication thing at? I don't remember where the duplication things is. Duplicate. There's somewhere in here is the duplicate thing. I can't remember where the duplication thing is. That's Sentinel Power. Duplicate non-unique enemies. That's not it. Additional Beam. Member Powered. Upgraded to Magic Rarity. There's Power Cores can be duplicated. But somewhere in here is a Sentinels can be duplicated, isn't there? I thought there was. Additional time. No. Huh. Weird. I could have swore that was one of the things, is there was a chance for Sentinels rewards to be duplicated. Or something. Oh, here we go. 8% chance for found Sentinels to be duplicated. So I have an 8% chance for it to be duplicated, and I duplicated the unique ones, and they sold for 45 chaos each. So yeah, make sure you have that. That was kind of awesome that dropped. I also sold various other things. I had a couple of cluster jewels sale and everything. That's the only reason I have as much currency as I have right now. This actually, I sold one of those sentinels I was talking about for 45C, and I was able to buy the last item that I needed for this build. which was, of course, the Skin of the Loyal. Let's go to where I have all the gear. So I loaded up this character. Like I said, I had over 260, I want to say, chaos. And I just started loading up this character. The only thing I didn't buy straight up before then was the Skin of the Loyal. That had to wait until I made some currency. So let me bring up my skill here so I can give. So let's start out with the weave. The Feminist weave are going to be our gloves for the aspect of the spider, chaos damage, attack speed, and life. All great stuff. So we're going to get a bunch of damage out of this and some defensive properties here. Oop. Watching my cat. I just want to say my kitty's not going to last much longer here. My oldest cat here. Yeah. She's getting to the point where she can't walk straight. She always overbalances one way or the other, so she might not be around much longer. On that sad note, let's continue on. I bought Dustblight. I was able to get this for 1C. I could have spent up to 5C on it, but life, armor and evasion, movement speed, of course. This is the faded version of the Dusk Toe. This is the faded version, so I was able to get this for 1C. You might get this for 5C. It's got the 39 to 59 chaos damage to spells and attacks during any flask effect, so this is great. So I was able to get that pretty cheap compared to what I was expecting to spend. The amulet is in presence with Despair on it, with the 38% increased damage over time roll. It's also got 15 all attributes on it, so that's cool there. And the allocates corruption, so we have 35% increased effect of wither. That was a crimson and 2 blacks, which was I already had the crimson, but that would have been only like about 2C, I think, if you had to purchase that. And the 2 black oils I was able to get for 2C each. I was expecting to pay for like around 6C each when I looked at them last night, but this morning they were cheaper because other people came on, so I only had to pay 4C in total for that corruption allocation there. So our Despair will have no reservation cost when we use it, and it gives us life and some chaos res, which this also gives us some chaos res 50% during any flask effect, and we're going to be using flask like crazy because we're Pathfinder. It's the name of the game on that class. So let's see. Our rings are good. This one cost me 20C. I was expecting to pay a lot more than that, but I was able to find this one for 20C. There's no life roll on it, but we can craft one on there later on if we need to. I've already taken all of this gear here and put it in POB to make sure I will have the resistances that I need. And then we have this ring here, which only cost me 5C. I was surprised at. It's for a bunch of res is basically what this is for, and some life on it. The belt cost me pretty penny. This cost me 80C. And the reason why it cost me 80C is because that last one, flask applied to you, have a 10% increased effect. If I didn't have that on there, I probably would have only had to pay like 25 to 30C for the belt. But with that on there, and the strength roll, and all the life, and the reses, I had to pay 80C for this. I say it was a good investment. But that's up to you if you want to have that last roll on there. And we can also re-roll the 25 to maximum life to make it higher, because it goes up to 40. So we'll get a lot later when we get to our mapping. I'll re-roll that. I'll probably also re-roll this cold res ring, and that is already maxed out, so we don't have to worry about that. Um, the shield. Let's talk about the shield. The shield, I was expecting to cost me a pretty penny. I was expecting at least 30C on this. I got it for 10. So yeah, I was really lucky that somebody came online and had this for 10C. It's got everything we wanted. It's over 1,000 evasion rating on it. Dex, didn't really need the dex, but it's an evasion only shield, so it's going to have dex on it if it rolls anything. Lots of life, evasion, lots of res. Mainly lightning res is what I needed the most. Even with this and all this res right here, I still needed to buy a ring that had more lightning res on it. I mean a jewel that had more lightning res on it. So we have to socket this jewel before we get to, after we kill Kataba, before we get into maps. So we have to have this jewel socketed. And I'll talk about jewels in just a second. The chest piece. I had to pay 120 chaos for this. Some people were saying they could pay 80 chaos. I paid 162 for this one. And you can't change the sockets colors or anything on this thing, so you have to buy a new one if you're going to use it. So I paid to pay 120C for this. I was hoping to pay a lot less, but this is what I was saving. This is what I was waiting on for things to sell so I could buy this. So we got this for when it needed. If I didn't have the things to buy, Tabula was fine. We didn't need to worry about it. This just gives us a lot more defenses. And +1 to socketed gems, but, you know, majorly the defenses help out there. Because we're going to have so much evasion rating. And then I bought a Dying Sun, a 46% less duration with 17% increased area of effect. So that is awesome. We still only can get one charge out of it, but it does last 4.30 seconds. So we have a lot of good stuff there. That was only 10 chaos for us to purchase. And now we have our jewels to talk about. Okay. So, like I said, I bought these jewels. Each of them were only 5 chaos. I had to have one that gives me fire and lightning res. I was surprised I got this for 5C because of the increased reservation of efficiency of skills. But it's great. It's got everything, pretty much everything on there except for the cold damage. Damage over time multiplier affects us. Attack speed while holding a shield affects us. And the lightning. The fire we didn't need, but the lightning a whole lot. That maxes us out. And then we have this one for 5C, which was another 5% increased attack speed while holding a shield, increased damage over time, and increased damage. Critical strike multiplier does not affect us. And then we have this one for 5C, which is damage over time, chaos damage, and increased attack speed while holding a shield. For another 5C, melee damage doesn't affect us. So, the other flask here. Let's go over these flasks before we go over the jewels. This is the mana flask I've run since my skeleton mage, so we didn't have to pay nothing for this. This one right here I already had in my stash, and I was able to re-roll it. We don't need. They recommend immunity to freezing, but since we're going to be running Brine King, and we'll eventually get the immunity to freeze there, we no longer need that. So I've decided to just leave the last one there. We'll probably want to eventually get a higher tier flask to put on that. And I need to, let me really quickly check. Okay, yeah. So that's still, the Blood of the Curie is still a low, even though with 50% increased life recovered, it's still only 2190 life. So that is not a thing there. Okay, just wanted to make sure before I said anything. So, yes, you'll want the increased amount recovered and reduced recovery rate, and then a whatever you want on the end. The best thing to do would be something like an immunity to poison, ignite, removing ignite, removing poison, something like that. Whatever can roll on the life flask. But I'll just have this. In case we ever get really low, then we'll get a lot more life back. The second life flask is going until we can get Ralakesh going for removing bleeding. As soon as we get Ralakesh going, we can probably drop this and put on the silver flask. The silver flask I had to purchase. It was only 5C, and it came with the Eagle, so the increased attack speed was already on it. It was not qualityed. I had to quality it myself. And then the Orb of Augmentation I used on it gave me increased charge recovery. The better thing to have would be something like gain charges on hit or something like that. But charge recovery is fine. Increased charges would have been good too, but charge recovery is fine. And then we have the Alchemist Quicksilver Flask of Links. I already had this flask. It was white quality, so I only needed 4 baubles to raise this up. And it got the links on it. And the augmentation gave me increased effect, reduced duration. And it was the highest one this flask could roll, I'm pretty sure. And that would be 25 reduced and 25 increased. That is an awesome flask right there. The only thing it could be better on it would be a higher tier of the movement speed during flask effect. And its quality too. This one I will actually go and let me quality that real quick. I'm pretty sure I don't have enough baubles for it. I'm going to need 10 more.
When I'm ready,
I can purchase that, no problem. I just have to go over here to Wheelum. No, I don't want it. That. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There we go. The 20% quality there. That should make it last longer, I'm pretty sure. Yes, 520 now. Okay, let me go back into my level cabin. Now let's talk about gem. Can be hit or miss. It depends on if you want them. The one I would recommend, of course, is the Poisonous Concoction. 23% quality actually is what you want, because a quality gives us increased area of effect, which is kind of what we need on this. So I bought a level 1 23% quality for 3C. Not bad. If you wanted a 23, that would have cost a pretty penny, but a level 1 is didn't cost hardly anything at all. A level 21 Despair to run around with, that was 5C for us. A level 21 Blasphemy support, because that's what we're going to be using to get our Despair out. And it's going to be free, of course, with our Imprescience. Because Despair has no reservation if cast as an aura, which Blasphemy does. It makes it an aura. And that was 3C for the Blasphemy. Level 21 Herald of Agony was 3C for us. A Summon Lightning Golem for increased attack speed was it was 2C actually instead of 3. Plague Bearer level 21, 3C. And Unbound Elements level 21, that was 3C. The Deadly Elements level 21 was also 3C, 4C actually, 4C. I thought it was 3, it's 4. Void Manipulation was 3C. The Greater Volley is where it gets more expensive. This starts at 10C. So we got a Void Volley, Greater Volley at 10C. A Spell Cascade support was 10C also. The Cruelty level 21, also 10C. The Greater Multiple Projectiles 20C. and the precision level 21 is also 20C also. All told together for the year. Hold on. I didn't recalculate my SP. Got my calculator and quick that. Okay, so for the gear by itself, no gems or anything, it was 289C. And that's kind of why everything everything except the chest I bought with the currency I already have. The same with the jewels, the gems. Pretty much, by the time I was buying the gems this morning, I was already starting to sell stuff. So I made currency, gave currency away. So it kind of all went. I don't know if I made more currency than I spent or not on the gems section. So it was 289C for that. Was and the gems all told together were 99C, and the total for everything together 388C. A exalted orb is like around 180 chaos, so 388 divided by 180 equals 2.15 chaos. Okay, 2.15 exalts, sorry. So a little bit over 2 exalts we spent on this character. And there we go. I spent money, but I had it to spend. I wanted a new character, so there you go. So we're going to be leveling this character here as soon as this video is over with and I get it uploaded and everything. I'm going to start leveling the character. We're going to be using Gold Rim, Wanderlust, Tabula Rasa. Eventually we'll be putting on the Crest of Parandus. This is such a good thing. This will last us until we can put on our shield, our other shield. This is so much stuff on there. Calorie Ore, but will be quickly changing at level 16 to the Shaper Seed because of the strength and intelligence on it. Unless I can find another amulet I'll have at that point to put on, because I'll be needing strength and intelligence as I level up. Dex, not so much. Desto be put on at level 18. Locknell's Caress, of course, we'll be starting out with. We have our Freeze Ring, which is we're going to be not freeze immune for a little bit, because I want Desto on as soon as I can. So until 18 to 24, we're not going to be having freeze immune until we can get this ring on. Pow Ring, of course, the mana ring we need, and I have Worm's Molt because it gives me strength and intelligence, which is what I need, and some cold res, and some life, and some physical attack damage, leeches life and mana, which Poisonous Concoction is an attack. If you look at the deal up there, it is an attack. So I'm hoping this works for the leech. It would be kind of awesome if it does. If not, I'm not worried about it. And then we have everything else here. So let me get this off and start rendering it and then uploading it, and I'll get everything going. I also still have, from purchasing it for the other character, Divine Vessels. I'll just need one for Brian King, really, and then one for Relikesh, so I just really need 2. And I do have the maps, I'm pretty sure. Let's see. That's not that. Yokohama, 4 runes. Tanner Lightfoot, is that who I need? Or no, I need Peruna the Challenger. Okay. Challenger, huh? Ah, here we go. Atoll. I have Atoll maps. I know I have Atoll maps. I didn't run any Atoll maps on this character. So I have some down here at the lower tier. So at tier 6, which we could probably do that pretty much straight up as soon as we go in. This is the one with the, if I'm not mistaken, this is the one with the totem? Or is Atoll the one with Brian King now? Atoll might be the one with Brian King now. I can't remember. They changed the bosses on some of these to correspond to the gods. So we have that, and then we have Ralakesh, which is the hollowed husk. So where is the husk? That is up at Palace, which I think is actually tier 12 if I remember. No. Is they always been tier 16? Tier 15. Okay. I have some tier 15. That's going to take a while. So we're going to have to be running without our silver flask for a while until we can get in a palace. I mean, I can just put it in base. I don't really run palace maps at all. So yeah, we could do that. So, like I said, I'm going to stop here and render this video, put it up. Oh, I guess you could look at the POB if you want. I have it right here. Ranger Pathfinder. Just go through. Major things to get are life nodes. Beginning, because life nodes increase your damage with Poisonous Concoction, in case you don't know. Go here to Poisonous Concoction. Throw an exploding bottle that deals unarmed attack damage in an area and has a chance to poison. Can consume charges from a life flask to add further damage. Fires an empty main hand and no offhand weapon. So, the thing of it is it consumes your life flask charges, and it does it from the, and your life flask, I think, has to be in the first slot of the, of your flask deals. So, that's kind of why we'll be running 2 flasks at first. It'll take from this flask, and then this flask will be, I think is how that works. I'll have to, I want to make sure. Let me check real quick. POE. Poisonous. I'll have to check that out. I'll have to check that out. I don't want to make it take too long. So let's go back to the POB. So yeah, life nodes, flask nodes, all that stuff. Poison. Our deal is going to be naturals, nature's reprisal, and then master taxation, and then we're going to have nature's boon, so we can get our flash charges. We don't really need the flash charges for a while. It's mainly going to be our damage here, so we can make sure we get everything poisoned, and then our flash charges, gain flash charges. so we can use those really well. We don't really need the flash charges until we get to maps, so I'm not worried about that. And then we'll get the Nature's Adrenaline for the Uber, which is just movement speed and attack speed, which will just help us out there. So we do need to have a node for intelligence here on our deal. So we do need to remember to grab that before we do anything else. Some intelligence here. This is charisma. That can be pretty much skipped until we start using despair blasphemy. Right there, we have our chaos mastery, which is 20% increased effect of withered, and then we have a 35% with our elocation. We have like a lot. Then we have some more maximum life and evasion, fresh spell damage, wind dancer. Don't really need this until we get like a lot of evasion on, so we'll just wait on that. Up here is a bunch of accuracy rating and everything, and critical strike, which I don't think it can crit, but this gives us precision has a 100% increased mana reservation efficiency, so we can start use our precision at that point a lot easier with probably our despair once we have charisma. Life node and life and there. Then we have a flask deal here. So we have a lot of flask here, and then we have flask applied to you have 10% increased effect. We have poison up here. Poisons you inflict on non-poisoned enemies deal 300% increased damage. Some fresh spell damage here. The first jewel we can get, of course, is this one right here. So we have to take this before we kill, but after we kill Kataba. This is what our points have to go to. This 2 points have to go to this, so we can socket our jewel, so we can have full res after killing Kataba. Then we have this node here, which gives us accuracy and everything, and gives us dextery's accuracy bonus. Instead grants +3 accuracy rating per dexterity. We have this life node here, herbalism, and this for 50% to max life. More damage over multiplier and attack speed with poisons you inflict deal damage faster. Some blast nodes here. Remove, maim, and hinder when you use a flask. Life flask gains 1 charge every 3 seconds. Mana flask gains 1 charge every 3 seconds. Then we go here and we grab this for more suppress spell damage. Life flask gain 3 charges when you suppress spell damage. And then we have 10% chance to suppress spell damage if your boots, helmet, and gloves have evasion, which they all do. Boots, helmet, and glove, yes. Boot, helmet, and glove. Our helmet has evasion. Boots have evasion, and gloves have evasion. So we're going to have more suppressed spell damage because of that. 10% checks. We go around here, go down here, and grab our dirty techniques for damage over time multiplier and stuff like that. Effect duration. We also have attack skills deal 20% increased damage while holding a shield, attack speed, and defense of equipped shield. Up over here we have our onslaught effect, 10% chance to gain 4 onslaught for 4 seconds on kill, which will help us out right there. And we have more evasion during onslaught. We have this life node here and avoid elemental elements here. And we have our poison, more poison here with some poison mastery for poison duration. So some of this will have to change a little bit as we level up, I know for sure. Anything like this might have to become something like let's see. Let's do it in the game so we can look at all of them together. Let me bring this up and turn this off. Okay, let's go to the passive tree. So, like this, there's no chance to poison on that. Multiplier. So we want to go the bottom route the first time around, and then we'll want to switch it to the top route once we get there. Same thing for down here. We're going to need this pretty heavily. We might path down this way and get it first, and then reset our path once we reconnect around the other direction. But we're going to need our chance to poison on hit more than anything else pretty early on. And then as soon as we can get 100 without it, we should be fine. Our chance to poison on hit with all of our gear. Let me see if I can go to calculations and POB and look at it. Change this to poisonous concoction. Life. Our chance to poison with the gear, and this gear, like I said, in the POB, let me bring the POB back over so you can look at it. This gear in the POB is my gear. It is not the gear that the person who made this POB has. It is actually the gear, except for the flask, the gear that I have. The flask are a little different. I haven't changed them, and I haven't put on that last gem yet. But all of this up here is my gear. The shield, the helmet, the body armor, except for it's now a skin of the oil. I'll just switch it to that. The Primus weave is mine. The boots are mine. The amulet is mine. The 2 rings are mine, and this is mine. So we have 100% chance to poison on hit with our gear once we have it on. We'll just have to do early, get our chance to poison on hit early on, and then we can just redo everything like that. We're poison on hit with attacks, poison on hit right here. No more poison on hit. So we'll might just do this one node here and skip it and go on to something else. Is any of this down here poison on hit? I don't think so. No, none of this is poison on hit, so we don't have to worry about that. So we'll probably spare it down here. That's okay. We'll probably need that mana leech right there. We might just go up and over to grab this, and then then once we come back up and around, we'll grab this stuff, this here, and reroute whatever we had to do to get down here and get this one. So yeah, that'll probably be what we do here. I just wanted to go over it in my head so I know what to do. So I want to thank everybody for watching. Turn this POB back off. Thank everybody for watching. We'll come back next time with the poisonous concoction build, and I'll see y'all then. I'm sorry if everybody wanted to watch the Blade Vortex more. I just couldn't go it anymore, so I decided to get something new, and here we go. All right, thank you for watching, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye.